There we go.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, it's on now.
It's on now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the green dots.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't have any dots.
Dang. Where are all the people?
They're coming. There's 15 people waiting.
I see that. 15? It already got 25 likes.
Yeah, I posted it earlier.
19 in there. Dang. That's really good. Hey, everybody. Hey. I hope this New Year's Eve finds you all well. I have so much news today, y'all. Oh my gosh, how are you guys on this New Year's Eve? How is everybody? I hope you guys are all well. I hope everything's going awesome. We have so much intro to bring out. It's like we got like 1 minute till like we're supposed to start. 62 people. Come on, let's break the internet tonight. Let's break the internet. And I'm going to do a little prayer tonight so I don't go off on any trolls real quick, okay? So I'm going to do a little prayer. Please, God, don't let me go off on any trolls tonight. Not these little people that don't have any platform to do anything. Please don't let me go off on them. And please keep my mind sane and keep the information.
Hey, sis. She's out there. So you got one moderator in there.
All right.
Babe Gibson is out there. You have another moderator.
2.
So that should help.
Greatly. We've had to change up our floor mat because of the last podcast, right? With adding moderators to our platform. I still totally encourage everybody, though, to participate. And this is not a closed thing, but if it's a closed-minded discussion, then we're just going to nip it in the bud so there's no wasting of your time like I did last time with dealing with one person when we have 80, 90, 100, 200, 300 people that deserve their time to have their questions answered. I'm hoping that I can get to this news swiftly, and then we can jump right into some Q&A. So I think it's best that we get started. Moderators, are you guys ready?
They're ready.
They're ready. Let's do the darn thing. Ladies first.
I am April Beebe. Happy New Year.
And I am her elegant and so handsomely dashing, dread-headed, I am Mr. Brando. And we welcome you to the reinstatement of the Iraqi Dinar IQD. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. So much news out there, guys. Oh my gosh. You guys should be pumped. Who cares about, some of the things that have transpired? I think the things that we all need to really care about is that we're alive, we're breathing, we're on this side of the grass, we have health. Hopefully none of you guys are out there suffering. I know with the government shutdown, some of the people that don't have the higher up positions were sent home. I pray that you guys get your checks, and I pray that you guys have work. But, I mean, we are invested in something, and I love my investment, good or bad. I take it for what it is. And by the end of this news reading, I think you will all agree that we're in some really good spots, okay? So, first things first, let's start off with some hot stuff. Barzani and al-Dahari on the list of financing terrorism. I told you guys Barzani was a bad guy. How is Barzani not even in power? It's like his cousin or nephew or somebody like that. But this guy is on the list from the U.S. as being a person that supports terrorism. How is that important? Because he's in the Kurdistan region. And the Kurdistan region does what? It produces a ton of oil. A lot of people thought that so goes the Kurdistan region, so goes Iraq. And remember, Iraq tried to defect a little while ago, and a lot of the bad doings that Barzani did came to light. So he put it out there like, well, I'm just trying to let the people do what they want to do. And they want to defect. They don't want to be a part of Iraq. But Iraq went ahead and reeled them all back in and said, you know what? You are part of the state of Iraq. We love you, and you're going to mind us and do what you're supposed to do. But come to find out, Barzani and a whole bunch of his little cohorts out there were just as evil as Maliki. And during the election saga, which I'll get to later on, he was in cahoots with Maliki about a lot of bad stuff. Barzani's a bad man, deserves to be punished. He's on the terrorist list. The Iraq personality is attended by Mazoun Barzani and Sheikh Dahari, and the Egyptian personalities, Shakik Yusuf Qurari, Shakik Muhan Abadi, Ibn Ali. This list could go on to include figures from Asia, Africa, European names. So just to show that it doesn't just pinpoint Middle Eastern countries, people that fund terrorism come from all walks of life, even from Europe, from Africa, from Asia, from the US of A. But Barzani specifically made that list, and so did one other person that is of interest, and that was the Lebanese Prime Minister, Saad Hariri. Lebanon, I believe, is not a border-sharing state, but a very key Middle Eastern state, along with Israel and some other places. Now, the deputy of Deputy, Iraq will remain in debt. This is huge, guys. We keep wondering why Iraq keeps trying to shove this budget down everybody's throat. They're trying to pass 219 before they even get to 218's over. You want to know why? Because they are way top heavy in debt. They are so top heavy in debt that they are saying that they will not be out of debt until 2070.
So I'm sorry, say that again. 219?
219 is next year.
So February is
no, not 219 the month. 219 meaning 2019. They're trying to force the budget through in before 2019 starts.
Okay, gotcha.
You get it? Mm-hmm. Usually it takes them at least a few weeks of the current year, meaning that as they go forward, so 2018, 2019, it's taking them sometimes 3-4 months to pass a concurrent budget. But what it looks like is that they're not passing budgets. They're just trying to shuffle debt and keep it out of the limelight. And a lot of people wonder why don't they ever open up their budgets? I believe the reason why they won't open up their budget and make themselves transparent to the whole world right now is because they're so top heavy in debt. That's why Standard & Poor and Moody's give them B- ratings. Because think about it. If your credit's bad or you got a lot of credit, what happens to your score? It comes down.
But they're going to have to be transparent about it.
Eventually, yeah, they are.
I mean, big financial companies like that, they're used to the Iran scandals of the world. Mm-hmm. So they're going to make them be transparent.
Of course they are, but they can't make them be transparent if they're not transparent with the international world and having their currency up to international standard. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to open my books if I'm not international.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why they go out there and try to get so much debt forgiveness from people so they don't have to pay. They can pay off some of this mountainous debt that they have. Their debt is astronomical. He said in an interview, the House of Representatives, and not fear of considering the House of Representatives to impede the budget, does not want to approve in the results of the public pressure on the streets and demands to provide services. We would have another option to the budget and our work to bring them back to the government to change radically. They say that out of, I think 47 key points, they only amended 19. That is huge. How do you only amend 19 key points when you have 47 pieces of outstanding debt out there? Truly alarming. He continued that Iraq until 2054 will remain loaded with debt as a result of accumulated loans. That's why when people are out there saying, well, hey, they keep getting these loans and they keep getting these loans, this is bad. They don't want people to loan them money. They want people to give them money. And then when people wanted to give them money, they wanted loans. So, I mean, these guys were not backwards in a lot of ways, but they were just having to do whatever they could to survive. And now it's all coming to light that these guys are way top heavy in debt. What was funny?
Oh, nothing.
Was it a comment?
No, not your comment. No, I'm reading the chat. Some things people are saying.
What are they saying?
I mean, go ahead. You'll see it in a second. I mean, we're going to talk about it, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, if it was something we'll do with this, I was saying let's address it.
It doesn't.
Partitions, divisions, expanded chance to complete in government. So everybody wants to know about, okay, first of all, the election happened in May, 12? So now we are basically 6 months later on in the year, and the ongoing election saga has been a thorn in everybody's side. And now I think that you're starting to see the Iraqi, not just the government, but a body's been really critical, and I'm going to get to that, super critical of Mahdi. And I think that ended up making some issues be forced to their hand. But with those guys being super critical, are they ever going to complete these, 3 ministerial spots? That's not even a big deal. It's kind of like with our own current administration in some ways, they're losing spots. So I'll get to that also. But right now, there's a big deal about Amiri and Maliki. They're trying to withdraw the number of deputies in their rebellion against the leaders of the coalition. So you get their little game. They put a carrot in front of you. We want this guy, but what we're going to do is if you don't support our guy, then we're not going to support anybody, and we're going to muck everything up. We're going to stop the flow of everything, and we're going to just pull it down. And I think that they're going to find out later on that the government now is not like the weaker governments of the past, like abiding those guys, because they have people now in place that are actually going to go after your ass. And if you don't do certain things, then we're going to shut you down. Now, I can't prove that. I think every government has to stand on its own too and be judged for that. But I think a really positive thing for going into 2019 is that there will be some changes within the government. But the people and the Reform Coalition interior, they was hindered, and the completion of Bahami's government, 3 ministers still vacant. We know that. It's a dead horse. We're going to keep going. Assad to Fiat. Assad finally stepped down and pretty much says he'll do whatever will help the sovereignty of the government. I told you guys this. He had to step down. It was important that he step away from the limelight because now he's going to be like national security minister or something like that. He has a big job. Mm-hmm. He's still in the limelight, but he's a bad guy. They need to keep him at bay. So he's finally said, you know what? He's going to kind of sit back, and he's dealing with some dignitaries like from Syria and stuff. And God bless Syria with our president pulling the troops out of Syria and moving them into northern Iraq. What a mess that has been. starts his independent bodies and send nominations. I told you guys those nominations were going to go forward, and the Council of Disciplinary gained confidence. They are Dr. Nazim Furman to the Board of National Investment, Dr. Nafar to the Board of Council of Prime Ministers. So they've gotten past. He's going to postpone the candidates of the Defense and the Interior till January 8th. So again, a lot of people will keep asking me, Brandon, or Mr. Brando, when do you really believe that this reevaluation will happen? I keep telling you guys that I really believe it's going to happen once you see the Minister of Interior seated, and once you see that the U.S. can step in and help them with that donor money. Because once they touch that donor money, that's when they got to open up their books and say they're transparent and say that they're trustworthy to the world. Okay? Now, Baghdad to Washington, trillions of dollars against the withdrawal of troops. Now, there was a lot of controversy about the whole visit by our administration by the Trump administration to the base. First of all, it went out there that they didn't know that he was coming, okay? But then it comes out there that he knows that they were coming. Mahandi specifically knew that they were coming. Mahandi said, well, hey, look, we were trying to get together. We wanted to receive him as an official visit. Trump didn't want to do that. He wanted to go to this one base, visit with his troops, give them a Merry Christmas pep talk, really congratulate them for protecting us, protecting our interests, and move about his business. Basically a 3-hour visit. Now, what everybody comes to kind of realize is Mahandi comes back and says, well, we kind of disagreed on some things, and so that's why we didn't meet. But come to find out that Trump actually had a tent set up for a joint meeting of him and the U.S. together, like a joint thing. It was not supposed to be some secret thing. Now, I've heard rumors today that through Kelly Conway that there was supposed to be some secret meeting that took place this morning with Mahandi and Trump, which was an impossibility because if you watch the news this morning, Mahandi was in a meeting this morning in Iraq with some other officials. So there was no secret meeting that took place this morning. A, I'm going to dispel that rumor. And number two, that Mahandi knew that Trump was going to be there and had no problem with it. But three, the SOFA agreement, which they said that because Iraq is sovereign, that you have to really check in like we talked about before. But Mahandi said, well, he kind of knew he was coming. They just couldn't get together. So the phone call ensued. But Mahandi made a critical statement that I thought was very, very prudent. He says he wasn't aware of any U.S. military bases in Iraq. That's not part of the deal. They never signed up for that. There's no military bases. Well, if you go back to this one comes from the article. I don't have the name of it. I'll send a link later on. I have it posted. There's a base near Sindar Niven. There's a base in East Duhok. There's a base south of Arbel Air. There's a base in Somanaya. There's a base in west of Kirkuk. There's a rule of Kirkuk Range. Oh my gosh, there are 14 different bases that we are there and operating. So I don't understand why Mahandi thinks that there is no bases in Iraq. Obviously, this man doesn't get out and travel the countryside because he has no clue that there are people in Iraq that the American troops are occupying, protecting him and protecting his assets and making sure that they can step forward into the international stage. Just the news, and I'm just reporting it. Now, Trump, that's why I told you about the military tent to receive Abdul Mahandi. So if he didn't know that he was coming, or he didn't know if there was a base there, why is Mahandi going to be received by a tent that Trump had set up for him? Mm-hmm. Kind of odd, isn't it? I mean, that's where the political kind of like shell game comes from, I think. And sorry, y'all, about the blast in the background, if you can hear that, if the microphone's picking that up. People are celebrating New Year's Eve early, which all of you guys, I'm going to get you guys out of here quick tonight so you guys can celebrate too, unless you guys want to stay and do some Q&A. But he has this whole thing there that it's a big setup with him. But Mahandi decides not to go because it doesn't fit the framework of how a dignitary comes to Iraq and is received by the Iraqi people. That's not the way they do things. And so he refused to meet him, and that's why they ended up talking by phone. Okay. Jordan has been majorly in the news with Iraq for the last couple of days. Jordan has made major moves. They said Jordan can actually start activating some of their projects by next Friday. I'm not going to get to every project, but they are saying that the Jordanian people and their government is heavily wanting to be involved in Iraq, which is awesome to me. I believe they share a border crossing, and I also believe that they're a great partnership. They can help them out with energy. They can trade with them. We need to get them off of Iranian influence and into an international type of mindset, which is trading with your other partners. Just because you like to deal with Iran because it's safe, you can deal with Lebanon or Israel or Jordan or any of the other Middle Eastern countries and trade in oil And so it's a beneficial thing for everybody. That's called a trade agreement or a trade route. And that's beneficial to our investment. We want them to do more of this. And they did a lot of stuff this week, a ton of stuff. Mike Pence calls Prime Minister Mahdi. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is, why is it that every time somebody calls Mahdi, they congratulate him on having a full government? What is it that we're missing that all these other officials get? Like, it's already done. It's not done. He doesn't have a full government. He has more of a government seated. And that's why I keep trying to tell people that hit me up on DM, oh my gosh, we're waiting so long. This is terrible. No, we're not. In the only 15 years that these people have had a democracy, this is the first time ever they've had this many people seated. Ever. They should be celebrated. I mean, I know it's not the leaps and bounds that we want, but you got to think, we've been practicing democracy for over 200 years. They've been practicing it for 15, and they're not doing so bad. They're not perfect. They're hella corrupt, but they're doing a decent job of getting the bad people out and some new people in. Oh my gosh. Just when you think ISIS is gone, my friend Matak told me in Iraq that, oh my gosh, there was an airstrike this morning. 30 ISIS people were killed. ISIS is rampant in that area because the insurgents, Middle Eastern people are tired. They want insurgents. They want to overthrow because these people are not grounded in like a stable environment. So they feel that whenever something leaves, they can run in and take it over. You know what I'm saying? They're like a roach that just won't die, right? So remember I told you earlier that they're hard enough time getting the cabinet seated. Now we have cabinet members just leaving, quitting on them. The Iraqi education minister, Al-Hali, the social media, she was a newly appointed education minister, and she was a woman, proud for that because they don't have a lot of women in politics there that have power. She said, I am an Iraqi woman, first of all, independent, and I have never worked with any political parties or bloc. I was nominated for the Iraqi Ministry of Education as an academic from the University of Mosul. I declare to everyone that I am submitting my resignation to Prime Minister Abdul Mahdi to decide once he is sure of my connection between us and ISIS.
She resigned?
She resigned. She quit. She told Mahdi, you can shove it where the sun don't shine. Her brother was supposedly involved with ISIS, but she says he was forced to work for them, not for the group, but to continue in his position as a civil servant in Mosul. So basically, he was in Mosul. ISIS took over and they forced him to perform his duties on a daily basis. But because of that connection, some of these Iranian-backed politicians, in my opinion, said, we don't like that. We want her out of there. So she said, you know what? I'll play your trump card. I'll just quit. So she walks out.
Wasn't she just placed?
She was just placed last round.
I remember that because I was like, wow, to have a woman.
I know, right? And it's kind of like odd that like a lot of people have women in politics, but she was the education minister. Mm-hmm. Big time position. You know what I mean? I know it's not like a defense minister thing or nothing, but I was very proud to see that they promoted a woman within and that she was a very qualified academic with several redeeming qualities about herself and came from a proud and prominent family. I am sorry for her and that her brother did not carry a gun, nor did he kill any Iraqis. She said that. She told Mahdi basically, I quit until you decide whether you think that I or my family was corrupted by ISIS. Now, Jaburi, a prominent Iraqi politician on the subject, said in a Facebook post, the new education minister's brother had worked for ISIS and blamed Prime Minister Abdul Mahdi for the sale. Again, these old politicians are coming back, and Jaburi was as corrupt as they got. Remember, he was the one that went out there and bought 9 SUVs that were armor-proof tanks, basically, for him and his subjugates to run around Iraq in while he really misappropriated funds. So I think it's kind of funny that the ones that school the loudest in Iraq are the ones that are the most corrupt. It's kind of weird how that works. Now, the rights of the citizen to uncover corruption, so I think it's very important that people don't understand what corruption is politically. So in a newspaper article, they actually define corruption. They define corruption in different ways of, big corruption, small corruption, political corruption, administrative corruption. And they said that it was basically divided into 2 big types of corruption. One was small corruption, one was big corruption. Now, they gave small corruption as a bribery is usually done in order to provide legitimate, prescribed, regular services. That is Maliki. Maliki has bribed or bought his way into most of these.
And that's small corruption.
That's small corruption, right? The definition of small corruption also includes access to sites for children and relatives in career systems and is the business sector without the need for such functions or without competition as required by law. Meaning that I'm in a position of power. My child needs some type of bribe, so I bribe the school mom or the school intendant to go in, put my child in the school, they're in. That's a form of corruption. Now, large corruption is defined by an official responsible for granting licenses, privileges, and permissions, or persons involved in public procurement and procurency, usually hold influential position or ministries or head of state surrounding them. So now what that means is that these ministers that are out there, they also are full of corruption because they have corruption on both sides. So what is going on with this corruption? How are they trying to tackle it? That's a very good question. We're going to get to that in a few seconds. How they are trying to tackle the corruption. Now, everybody's heard of these 13,000 files of corruption that Mahdi opened up or that got to him from the Judiciary Committee. And all year long, people sat there and said, well, why hasn't he done anything with it? Why hadn't he done anything with it? We haven't seen an arrest. Well, today he met with the Supreme Council for Combating Corruption, and they started looking at how they're going to expose corruption and protect society, citizens, public money alike. Now, Amani chaired the Supreme Council Combating Corruption, which was held today in the presence of the head of the prosecution, the Judicial Supervisory Committee, the Financial Bureau Control Bureau, the Integrity Commission, the Inspector General of the Ministries of the Interior, and number of advisors. Notice General of the Ministry of the Interior. Again, that name comes up. The Ministry of Interior is an integral part of what's going on. He also is going to have to be corruption-free. Without that, you cannot have your RIRV. Now, they said there is a major, major problem in the big lie and saboteurs that hinder the implementation of the products. Basically, what this news report says is that every time that these guys come out with something, that it comes out that there's some big government official behind it. That's why they keep getting corruption and it won't go forward. Oh, now, again, two major things that happened, and I saved this. I'm glad we dropped down a little bit because the HCL law they said they were going to pass, so you're going to have to listen to this. The HCL law they said they're going to pass, and they said they're going to go ahead with the start of, they've got the committee formed to go ahead and implement Article 140. So if you tuned out early, you missed a bomb dropper. I wish I had my sounds. It would be a clue bomb. Boom! They said HCL law is going to go through, and they're going to go ahead and pass it. That's a major, major priority, and that they're going to start the implementation of the applicable process of starting Article 140. Huge. Now, last but not least, there's a lot of buzz going on out there. I think a lot of people are going to take it the wrong way about the new prime minister went out there and basically stripped a body of one of his homes, a villa that he was using. And the way it was explained to me is that this was one of the places that he frequented for kind of like a getaway maybe. And he had guards there, but a body had been vacated the post for several months, or like a month or so. And that he still had armed guards there. And so Mahdi went back through the knowledge of the Speaker of the House and said, hey, look, we're going to go ahead and confiscate this back because there's no reason for us to pay for security to be there, and you're not even living there anymore. So a lot of people are going to spin that to be a bad thing, like he kicked him out. And the reason why he kicked him out is because he was so critical of him, of Mahdi and his government and forming it, when a body couldn't form a damn government by himself anyway. So it's kind of laughable, but that's not the reason why he was kicked out. He was kicked out because they're trying to go back and seize assets for the state, which are needed that can help them make some money, okay? That's another reason why security and transparency is uber important right now. Now, that is the news as I have it. I guess we can open it up a little bit to some questions and answers. I had a couple other key points that I wanted to talk about. There was a huge article out that came from one of the, what was it? It was about the suspension of the, what do you call it? The currency. And a friend of ours named George Sewell said, he said, hey, I thought you may like this. I'm quoting George here. This is not my words. He said, the central bank allows companies to mediate the sale and the purchase of foreign currency. This is part of what we're looking for, in my opinion. When a company mediates a sale, that's a fancy way to say that they get to take a percentage of the profit, a broker fee. They are outright telling you that the IQD will be traded, bought and sold by big investment brokers. In other words, rather than the auctions done by the CBI, Now you will want to exchange your dinar for another currency, like the USD, Real, Won, etc. Go to a brokerage firm that handles that. You don't need to come to the CBI to buy and sell the dinar or any other type of foreign currency. For me, this is a preamble for stopping the auctions. Stopping the auctions escalates the whole RV system because now they have to use their currency internationally to pay bills and everything else.
Okay.
Boom. That's another huge clue bomb. Boom. That's huge.
I kind of need you to read that one more time. Do you mind?
No.
That section about exchanging.
I mean, how do you go to a brokerage firm?
Yeah. So when you say a brokerage firm, like, so you're saying
go to a bank. They don't call them brokers. They don't call them banks, probably. They call them a brokerage firm.
Okay.
Go to a bank and you want to take your dinar and you want to trade in for Real. Well, not Real because it's sanctioned, but let's say you want to go and trade it for Won. Here's my dinar. How many Won do I get? You have to be ultimately an international recognized currency to be able to trade out for other currencies. Now, in this country, you wouldn't be able to trade out for basically anything other than dollars.
Right.
So what does that tell you?
So it should be happening soon, right?
Very soon. So by them suspending it, they're allowing themselves to have the opportunity to exchange their money in other foreign currencies. That gives the hint of internationalism. Because if I can trade, if that my currency is recognized internationally, and if I can go into a bank and say, here's 50,000 dinar, how many dollars do I get? And I say, well, you get, I'm just using a round number, 50,000. Well, perfect. You might $50,000. Boom, you get your money out. Okay.
So we should see a value.
A value soon. And with them going ahead and amending the investment law, which is huge, and them going ahead and putting through the HCL and Article 140. Now are you guys tying all this in? Do you guys see how we bring it all back together? They're telling you we want to have a currency that is exchangeable for other currencies. And the only way to do that is be international.
Right.
I asked them if I could quote him on that, and they said yes. Now, a lot of people are going to wonder again about how do I feel about the whole Abadi, Mahandi thing, blah, 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 blah. My friend says that in regards to the Media Office of Parliament, Abuli wishes to clarify the Speaker had no knowledge or the number of houses occupied by Mr. Abadi or other officials, according to which information said that have been distributed to, in contrary to the controls in the past, as well persistence of people out of the state jobs still occupying many of those houses, and affirms with Parliament we will have positions to regulate the mechanisms of occupying those states for sale for public treasury and not be permissible according to political calculation. So this is what I said to him.
Thanks for clearing that up, buddy. I totally makes sense to me now. Thank you, Matak. Thank you.
Okay. So,
hey, Brandon, let's go.
So I went back to tell him.
Even Maliki's place will get taken back then? Even Maliki?
He says the Speaker of the House said all will be taken back. So again, he says it. I can barely put it right there. All will be taken back. I'm not making it up. This is my contact from Iraq that I trust. He said all of them. So Maliki one day will have to exit the presidential palace and his butt will probably be hung from a tree. Now, we have gotten through a ton of news.
Okay, so let me take this one real quick. One of my sources, this is from Paul. One of my sources says the HCL oil and gas law was approved by Iraq Parliament. I also heard Article 140 was implemented or in the process of being implemented.
That's true. We know that the article was in the process of being implemented because they formed a committee saying that they were going to do it. So you're absolutely true on that. They are going to start the implementation process, and they've already started forming their subcommittee to do so. That's absolutely true. Hey, babe, I see that. From 14 to 17, thank you. Iraq has never had 100% seated GOI. There are 8%. That is outstanding. Carlos, I agree with you. That is outstanding. Hey, Dwayne. Vivian, Billy, thank you. I watched Field 2. Mishearing anything on that. Thank you. I watched Field 2. Leanne, I don't know what Field is, but you'll have to kind of correct me on that. Vivian, Billy, thank you. I don't know what that is. I know, but what country are they from? We need the HCL. And yes, Carlos, we do. Only 5% of ISIS left. 5% is 5% too many, in my opinion. I mean, it's like saying to get rid of all the gangs of America, though, right? I mean, it's never going to happen, but it'd be a nice thought.
Did you read Billy's comment?
I don't.
They will pass the budget, but they never open the budget. Let's pray.
Vivian, Billy, they're talking about. Where are you talking about?
Billy Williams at 808 up higher.
I don't go past.
Oh,
Go past
okay.
816.
So basically, at 8:08, Billy Williams said they will pass the budget, but they never open the budget. Let's pray they open the budget.
Yeah, Billy, that's the whole point. That's the reason why I bring up the budget and then being credit bad, because if they get the budget and they all of a sudden open it, that creates a transparency, correct? So yeah, the passing the budget means zero. Every year I hear all this crap and all this hype from people. Oh, the budget's being passed. The budget's being passed. Well, until the budget's physically open, it means zero. It means absolutely nudge it because it's not transparency to the world.
John Darling, did you read that one?
I don't know where you're at.
It's at 8:09 p.m. He says, watch the president.
I don't go that far back.
Okay, so I'm reading it to you.
Okay.
Watch the president to make a big announcement on Thursday about a trade agreement with China, which includes currency for the Middle East and Asia.
John, if you are correct, I will break that news on Thursday. I will do a special thing. If you are correct, I've heard that there's supposed to be some type of special commentary coming out. I don't know, but if that's it, power to us. I hope so.
Sam asked, do you think it'll happen first quarter?
Yes. Yes, I do. I really do. I don't start till 8:16.
Okay, I'm just checking. Mr. Brando, back in 2015, I heard that this wouldn't happen until 2019 in the month of March, to be exact. 3 ministers to go, 1 each month could be possibility.
3 is one of my favorite numbers. Everything happens in 3s. I never heard March. I always heard January. I loved December because I thought with all the progress that he was making, that he was able to get some things done. But obviously I was wrong about that. I really thought that he had a stronger call to action with the ministers and maybe more of a command presence. And he's an older guy. And it kind of seems that, and Mahandi, thanks for, I don't want to say her name like that.
I'm sorry.
My moderator.
Bambi,
yeah. Thanks to Bambi for giving me some literature about Mahandi and his qualifications. And shout out to Bambi because she's educated me the last couple of days on what a great guy Mahandi has been.
Or was it Babe? Which one, Bambi or Babe?
Well, it was Babe.
Oh, okay.
It was Babe. Or Liz, you know what I'm saying? Liz. But she's the one that hooked me up. You know what I mean? So I have a kind of a newfound respect for him. I still think he's a weak minister. I don't think he's forceful enough because I think that he's kind of, I don't think he's weak. I think his whole idea about stopping the corruption is this. He's going after more grassroots things to stop the ebb and flow of how the corruption works. Then he's going to tackle bigger fish. Kind of like how our feds come in and tackle a street level person. Then they get a little bigger person, a little bigger person, a little bigger person. Then he's going to make a clean sweep of the government. And that's where you're going to start to see the arrest of like Amiri, or maybe not Amiri, but of Maliki for sure. And don't forget the actual anniversary of Maliki signing the document which had Saddam Hussein hung. The anniversary just recently passed. Very interesting also.
Peggy asked, but who is ISIS?
ISIS is an insurgent group. It's basically made up of Mohandis. There's a couple other types of Muslims that are in it. And they're the disenfranchised Islamic group that wants to take over and kill all Americans. They hate Christianity and they hate Jesus and they hate people like us because we're free. And that's why there's a big thing on Twitter, if you're looking, that you're saying now, there's people are really criticizing the Muslims out there that are saying Merry Christmas to people. They're being persecuted and talk bad about it. And like that, now there's a big thing on Twitter. You see Muslims saying Merry Christmas. It's crazy. Very crazy.
I think I'm up to where you are now.
You want to go with Lindsey Graham said he had private lunch with Trump and was told facts about Syria pull out that made him feel a lot better. MSN is spreading lies. Vivian, my opinion was he was always planning to pull out of Syria. His idea was he wanted a safer base, and that's why he moved that base, because they just built that base in northern Iraq. So I think it was always planned. I don't think it was anything sinister about it. I just think he moved it to move it because it made more sense from his standpoint. I don't think it made sense to his advisors or maybe even his cabinet, which Trump has always shown you again and again. He doesn't care what they say. He cares about what he thinks. He goes from the gut, good or bad. So I think that was his plan for a long time.
Frank says there's only 5% of ISIS left.
I don't know that number to be true or false. I mean, I don't. I can't say Frank's right or wrong. You know what I mean? So your thoughts once the currency is reinstated? Don't all these problems go away, meaning now they would be a national company would be able to start reconstruction. Yeah, I mean, their problems won't go right away because you got to remember they got to activate their private sector. An activation of the private sector, you know how that is here. It's like small, medium businesses have problems, large businesses have problems. So they're going to have to hire 50% Iraqis. So it's going to put people to work that aren't at work, and that's huge. But I mean, it's just because their currency is international doesn't mean the problems for Iraq go away. Okay, the problems for us as a casual investor go away because now we can go in there and take our money and trade it in and get some more money out of it. Mm-hmm. But for Iraq, it's the problems just begin because the whole reconstruction process is going to be very major for them. Kathy says, "Oh Lord, only you can fix this mess." True, Kathy. No one knows what country they are from. No, they're from several countries. They're basically the disenfranchised. According to Field McConnell, Trump had to be out of the U.S. for the reset to happen. Went to Iraq. Jonathan, I'm not disagreeing with you, but he went out of the country, came back, and the reset didn't happen. So, I mean, again, I think that we need to put in place people or objects that we think are going to trigger that. Like someone told me once, it's not an event, it's a function of events that will happen. Mm-hmm. And I think just because one person, I don't believe President Trump is the light switch that will turn on or off. I believe he plays a part in it. I just don't believe he's the major part. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The U.S. to the reset to happen. Sam, that's a good question. Awesome. I'll go find it later. Thanks again. Holding my dinar for a long time now. I love Brando, Miss BB. We love you, Leanne. We love you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Dawn B. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. B. I've been thinking about President Trump's visit to Iraq. Could be security reasons why he didn't announce his trip. Well, we know that because he said that. He basically said that security was so tough that he was not going to announce his comings or goings. That's why it only stayed 3 hours. They love you too. We love you guys.
That's awesome. He's telling me.
I know. We love you guys. I thought earlier in this year, meaning USA and Iraq forces ran ISIS out. Remember the maps? Trip, I believe, yeah, they ran out of northern Iraq. Remember, they ran to Syria and other countries to hide. That's where they were hiding their terrorist leader, the guy, you know what I mean? I forgot his name. It escapes me. ISIS leader. If someone could shout it out to me, remind me. But remember, he was rumored to be dead from a missile launch and from gunfire attack from U.S. insurgents, but it never proved to be true. Yeah, babe, huge news about the HL N-140. He didn't elaborate. He just said he was understanding he had to be out of the U.S. for it to begin. Okay, well, Jonathan, I can't disagree. I don't know. I'm watching you on my 60-inch smart TV. Oh, my gosh, Lori's watching us on a 60-inch. Happy New Year, Lori. Hi, Pierre. Removing a body from the villa before it was Maliki. Jonathan, you know what? That was breaking news. So I do believe that these guys, it became a big stink because, you know, the term guru, they said they were going to spin it. And, oh, my gosh, he's going after him. First of all, I'm no damn guru. I don't even want to be labeled a guru. I'm just a guy out here trying to tell you what I think is going on, tell you the people I talk to in Iraq, and tell you what they say or think. I know the gurus are going to spin it any kind of different way. But there's only one way to spin it. They seized property back because it needed for the state to sell it.
AB says, I thought the RV was going to happen in 2018. Why didn't it happen?
Why didn't it happen? Because 3 reasons. One, you didn't have the CBI in a suitable environment they felt was open for the RV. Or RI, not RV, RI. An RV doesn't really, I mean, I get what you're saying, but RI. Number 2, they didn't have laws passed in 2018. They weren't off a bunch of blacklists that they were on. They had to come off the European blacklist for currency. They had to be off our blacklist for currency. There was no way it was going to happen exactly like that. Now, all those things, those tumbles did fall, but they weren't able to get the government seated where they felt like transparency could happen. So they didn't reinstate the currency. There's a big myth that, well, the CBI doesn't need the GOI. Well, obviously they need them in some way because they're waiting for some fictitious environment to open it up and to delete these 3 zeros. So they go hand in hand. It's like the left foot and the right foot. So that's the reason why. Hey, Albert, Happy New Year. Frank, hey, Frank. Explain, where is the IMF when you need them? You know where the IMF, where Christine Lagarde is somewhere in her villa in a chateau in France, sipping great wine and avoiding prosecution. No offense, she is not the best of leaders. Woohoo. Hi, Frank heard that too. Only listen to YouTube independent journalists. Oh, hey, Vivian, thank you. Yeah, Vivian, we too. I read, I study, I talk to Miss Bibi, I talk to my team. They know who they are. They're the moderators out there that are helping us do all this. I talk to 2 people in Iraq. I talk to another friend, and he knows who he is. I try to keep him pretty private. And Mr. Frazier, and I also talk to the Outhouse. I talk to IQD Chat, and I read tons of articles. Do your own research. And buyer beware. Only invest in this what you can. A lot of you ask me, is it going to go first week, second week, third week? Look at my disclaimer at the bottom. I am not a financial advisor. I am just a person out here that's trying to make sure that when you do participate in such endeavors, that you understand the pitfalls and what can happen to you. Hey, there's Seamus. That's my other guy right there. I talk to Seamus exclusively. I like Seamus a lot. He's a good man. I'll be looking at investing on ISX and GE. Now, hey, Jonathan, GE is kind of shaky right now. If you know any background about that, supposedly GE and Trump have some type of thing going on, and he's forced GE onto Iraq to kind of help their business. They were floundering big time. So I'm just saying what
GE meaning
General Electric. Yes.
You know they're in the energy and oil business too, right?
No way.
They're right next to Halliburton.
I know, babe.
Oh. Okay, my bad.
Give me a kiss. I'm just messing with me, baby. I love to mess with her. Great job. Thanks, Seamus. We appreciate you, bro. Frankie, what are you talking about? Verizon taking over. Did you guys see that thing also about their internet being cut? That whole there was a big article out that supposedly that the cable, fiber optics have been cut, and I think that all that goes through Kirkuk. And there was a major ordeal about that, and they were going to prosecute them for like some type of domestic terrorism or something. Frank, only way to get the truth. So glad found Mr. Brown and Miss Bibi. Yes, we are going to tell you exactly what we know, and that's it. I've been watching them at the end. They have links for you to see and read for yourself. Yes, that is Trip in the bag. Trip is always out there supporting us. And Vivian too, yeah, because Ms. Bibi takes the time and the team takes the time. Ms. Bibi's been doing it by herself, but shout out to Ms. Bibi in 2018 because she's taken the time to really make my dream come true, which is to report all this to you guys. She's the one that puts all the stuff in the article. She's the one that makes sure that stuff goes up. I'm just the person that sits behind the scenes and says, this happens, this happens, this happens. But she's the brains. I'm just the mouthpiece, okay? With all due respect, I feel there will be a float, not an RV. Well, Carlos, I agree with you. I don't believe in the term RV or II. I believe there will be a reinstatement, and attached to that reinstatement will be a float. Okay, so if you want me to clarify my position, there it is. A reinstatement that will be attached to a float, and it will be a dirty float, to be specific.
Why do you call it a dirty float?
Because the other float means that they know an exact number when it gets to. When they get to it, it stops. A dirty float is kind of like free capital flow. When it goes up as high as it can, if it goes up $6 more, it goes up $6. It's just dirty. It can do what it wants to do. Okay. Good, about time. Me too. Welcome to the live chat. Hang Maliki. Yes. I have my own Delta. Sylvia, I don't have my own Delta. I got you and everybody else out there that we talk about this all the time. And I know 2 people there that I talk to exclusively every day through WhatsApp and Google. Every day I chat with them and I ask them questions. And the reason why they don't get on here is because they don't understand the word RV or RI. They only understand what's happening within their country. Happy New Year's to you, Mrs. Bibi. Happy New Year's to you, Anthony. Mr. Brando says so. No guru talk, peeps. None ever. Hey, buddy. Good info. Maliki should have been hung. Now, Jonathan, I agree with you, but I think if you hang Maliki, it creates a power vacuum. And then you see all these little militia groups. That's when they attack Iraq, and that's where things get real mucked up. So I think in some ways, Maliki and Amiri and these other goons are kind of the shield between them and all these Iran-backed militias that are inside of Iraq. Okay? Remember, our militias are the ones that we're afraid of right now. We're not afraid of anything else but the Iran-run militias, okay?
But it seemed like that was all the talk earlier in the year. Like, get Maliki, hang Maliki. You know,
I agree with you. I think that people that are new to the investment, when you hear about Maliki and all the bad things he did, he's an easy boogeyman to point at. That's why I call him the boogeyman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, kill Maliki. Well, you can't kill him because he's so politically tied in an Iranian puppet that if you kill him, you're going to have a problem. It's kind of like if you did something bad to President Obama and you hate Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's going to create some type of vacuum to power back to who those people were that hurt him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
Kung Fu Self, Defiance. Alk said there will not be a flowing rate. I don't understand that. Yeah, there'll be a rate. Whatever it is, there will be a rate.
When he says flow, I guess he means a float.
No, if they reinstate, they're going to reinstate to post or pre-war times and taking into consideration inflation. From there, it will float. It has to. Because think about it. As a common investor, why would you, even Kuwait floated. I mean, and they were a clean float, and they floated. And people turned in those 3-0 notes as fast as they could and got majorly rich off it. I know it's not the same thing. I'm not comparing the two, but there will be a float, some type of float.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit knows all, and Spirit tells me we will be blessed. Blessed to Spirit. Hey, Queen, my king, salute. Also, thank you for pronouncing my name right. Oh, Leanne, of course. Respect. Yeah, Tripp's right. When you go in for your exchange, a lot of people ask about your strategy. Exchange enough money to get you well. If you can interpret that how you want. Get yourself well. Get yourself out of a bunch of debt or pressing debts that are going to hinder you from being able to get yourself to a cool, quiet place. I'm not an advisor. You want to speak to a financial person, speak to Ms. Beebe about strategy or somebody else that maybe we'll name later on, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. I know for us, what we're going to do is we're going to exchange enough to get well. Then we're going to take a trip somewhere and go sit down for about a week, right? We talked about that. And we're going to kind of figure out what's best for us and our family and the team well, and we'll figure it all out. It won't be perfect, and we'll probably make mistakes, but we will be, probably invested in some type of, what do you call that thing, Ben? The trust thing. You're talking about the trust thing.
Oh, we're going to put it in some sort of trust. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
or
the trust,
mutual fund?
Yeah. She'll diversify the portfolio, but, only trade in enough because when it does float, or if it does float, let's say it like that. If it does float, you want to be able to maximize your investment. That's where your GMROI comes in. GMROI stands for gross margin on your investment. You paid X, you're getting Y out of it, okay? So when you're trying to get your money out, when it floats, whether it's dirty or clean, you want to be able to maximize that and get as much out of it as possible, okay? When the RV happens. Oh, yeah, and Johnny, thank you, Johnny. You're right. Have a team of lawyers by your side to protect you and a team of accountants to protect your investment. Yeah, put your money in a safe haven. I'm not going to tell you the places that I know of, but put your money in safe places that you know your money will not be ripped off from you from greedy bankers. And supported by Iran. It's Israel. The plan needs to be made well known. Agrees with Dwayne. Been over 13 years. Well, Dwayne, it's only been 15 years, so you've been in it since the beginning. My hat's off to you for your diligence and your mental toughness. Purchase authentic dinars. You know what? I've mentioned these places, Save Dinar, American Exchange. I tell people all the time, if those are places you want to go to, try them out. I have no affiliation, neither does Miss BB, with any zero dinar exchange bases. So don't call me a pumper. I don't pump dinar. I don't pump the investment. You buy at your own risk. You're an investor. You're a grown-up. Do as you want to do. Put folk back to work. Make the economy better, right? You're damn right. Thanks, sis. Yeah, you put people back to work. All of a sudden, you stimulate the local commerce, which invents more people to work, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of like us. We're kind of entrepreneurial. Get us out of your normal job. Get us stimulating the environment. You don't need more taxes. You need more taxpayers. You need more contributors. That's what you need, okay? Psychological warfare and with the I don't give a what. Okay, please tell me I served the military for 16 years and worked in a counter-propaganda. Wait a minute. Today, my husband and I are celebrating our 20th. Hey, Lori. Well, congratulations on your 25th anniversary. Salute to you.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. G. Killsep said, please tell me I served the military for 16 years and worked in counter-propaganda. Tell you what, G, we'll talk about it. You tell us. Psychological warfare and with the IDDF. Whoa, great. There's Johnny. Hey, Johnny. Whoa, ATL confirmed. It's huge. Watch the rest of the details. Follow out like dominoes. Johnny, you're absolutely right. Have announced a date as to when they will pass the ATL up. They said next session. So if you take next session as being January 8th or next session that they record, if they have quorum, that will be a major key. Passing the ATL law could be huge for us. It's not can be. It will be huge for us, as well as the committee once we see it form this one in for Article 140. Baghdadi, thank you. Baghdadi's his name. Can anybody confirm Baghdadi's death? Do you know how many people in 2018 claimed to kill Baghdadi? Remember that? Russia claimed him. I believe Iran claimed him. I mean, there were so many people. Dude, this guy was like a rock star of terrorists. No one, he's the James Bond of terrorists. No one could kill him. All Baghdadi. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. You guys. I'm not so smart that I can't be taught something. That's the other thing I want you guys to know. We are all here to educate each other and to help each other. This is not about who's the smartest. It's about how we can help each other and make light of something that is so difficult, because for years we've been lied to by these gurus and all this bull crap. Now we're getting to the truth.
Did you see this one? I don't want to read it out loud, but
Sean.
At 8:36. Just can you look at it on my phone right there? That one. Is that a true statement?
John, I can't say that out loud. I can't confirm it. I know your source, and a lot of people find credibility with certain personalities out there. I will not endorse nor deny anybody until I see it for myself or I talk to my contact. Okay? My contact says it, I'll give you all the kudos. And him. Okay? I'm not a hater. That's funny. Hold on. Thank you.
30 dead in Israel.
Intelligence officer found in a rubble of Russian airstrike in Syria. Yeah, there's been some major stuff going on in Syria. I told you that earlier. My contacts in Iraq said there was major airstrikes going on from Iraq to Syria this morning and this afternoon, that a lot of people died and lost their lives. Yeah, a bunch of leaders lost their lives, babe. Good ISIS leader, yes, died. Abu Bariki al-Baghdadi, did he die, babe? Did you know that? The whole reason why the dinar is not advancing in prices because Israel does not want a strong Arab neighbor. I think that's kind of very controversial because you have so many other strong Arab neighbors. Kuwait, you have Saudi Arabia. I think that, Israel will be always protected by the United States, so they don't have to be a strong partner as far as trade. And God bless the poor Israeli people. They've been kicked out of everywhere. But I think that Israel cannot stop the flow of money as far as the other Arab nations. Maybe they can, and maybe I could be wrong, but I just don't see that happening. Pierre, hey, boss. Will the auctions end indefinitely? Hey, Crypto Gamer, my opinion about the auctions is this. I heard that at one time in my life that the auctions were going to run concurrent until they activated the public sector. I don't know that to be true or false, but I heard that will continue until the public sector is activated because they need that money to fund everything. But as I read to you earlier, if that you can buy and sell your dinar through a brokerage firm and exchange it for other currencies, why would you ever go to an auction? They would cut that off because I know for a fact that there was an article out that I didn't mention that said there was a committee in Iraq that was a committee to stop the auctions and to investigate it and to invest that water scandal and to invest something else. I just couldn't find two articles to corroborate that story. That's why I didn't mention it earlier. But yes, you heard it from me first. There was an article out that said that there was going to be a committee that's formed by the CBI to stop the auctions or to investigate it. But it's because we all know that it's a funnel for money to Iran and terrorist activities and just absolute BS. ISIS leader is Benjamin Nahawi. I've been my dinar. Baghdad. Who's waiting on the bank? Kuman prophecy. I will be camping your bank if RB tomorrow. John L. deleted message by BMB. John L. telling him out. It was pay so much for paid. I don't know what that is. What was hate K prophecy? I don't believe in that. Y'all think about prophecy when you think about this investment. I know a lot of you think of prophecy. I'm just saying, don't get caught up in that. Get caught up in the news and get caught up in the day-to-day. I don't know about these K prophecy stuff. I don't do that. I don't know Real Community. Oh, yeah, I know Real Community. I used to listen to him. And I don't know what happened to him, but he fell off. I have no clue where he went to. Remember the guy that used to say, flying.
Flying feels
like falling. Remember?
Until
you hit the ground. Yeah, we used to listen to him. Y'all, we've been in this for a minute.
He's still out there, isn't he?
Nah, he hadn't posted in a while.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him.
I liked him too, and I'm not going to give breath to some of these other gurus that are out there on Twitter and stuff.
But he actually read the articles.
He read articles. Yeah.
He pretty much read the articles and gave his spin on things. But it wasn't. Yeah, he was pretty decent. I never realized.
Yeah, he hadn't been around a while. If it doesn't happen, people are gonna bash Hank. LOL. I feel bad if it doesn't happen at B. You know what, y'all? If it doesn't happen within the time frame that I want to happen, then I'm gonna keep watching the news. It's called an investment. If it was called me cashing out, then I'd be cashing out. It's an investment. You watch it, you study, you learn, you understand that what's happening has never really truly been done before. So for everybody to come back and say, well, it's been 15 years. I agree with you. It's been 15 years. But you know what? It never happened 15 years before it. So.
Well, Katrina says she can't even buy in Australia.
You can't?
That's what she said. She said only on eBay for the IQD.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. J.D. Frazier. I can't say his name, Sarah. Floating dirty.
Where are you at?
Right down here, 842.
But inquiring minds want to know.
I can't tell you that.
I know. I just want to see what she said.
I don't tell you that because as my friend, he asked me not to tell you. Okay. And he's on here all the time with y'all, but I can't tell you that. Oh. Red Star. John, you're crazy. Red Star my ass. Red Star. Damn it. John, you're retarded. And my mom watches this. Don't make me read cuss words. I was thinking about that. This thing is, yes, I'm not looking at you, John. I was thinking about that. The thing is that this is indeed a process. It is a process behind the scenes. And so there is suddenly, I think, everything else Hank had came past Big Boy. I don't know what y'all talking about. Awesome group on here. So many positive, smart people. Love all, Mr. Vivian, we love you too. And that's what I'm talking about. Where I want to take this process is from inception all the way to conception. I don't believe that any one person, it was like someone corrected me the other day and said, well, there's no such thing as this. And I asked him, well, where is your Dinarian degree? I didn't know that at the University of Houston or at Harvard, they gave degrees in Dinarian. And if you can, present it to me. Just because you've been in this a while doesn't make you smarter than us. Okay?
It's all speculative.
It's very speculative. And for someone to shut you down because you have a question, shame on them. Unfollow them. Because you know what? You're going to get caught up in their little box, in their little pint, and you're never going to grow. Don't flea train yourselves. You can do whatever you want to do. We can learn this, and we're going to learn together, but you got to have accurate news. And Night of Dragons and this and that and BS, you got to have factual stuff to base your investment strategies on. That's all we give. $3.21, Sylvia, I agree. Kuwait did it overnight. Yeah, they did. And they told you they weren't going to do it for 5 years, and the next minute they did it. Boom, it was done. Did you waste money? Pierre, you didn't waste money buying anything if you can trade that Zim in and get your money back out of it. So it's not a waste of money. But if you don't feel the investment sound, trade it in. It's kind of like coddling cryptocurrencies. I own a bunch of cryptocurrencies. I got thousands of dollars tied up in the cryptocurrencies that are sitting in a wallet somewhere that I'm just waiting for them to grow. Do I feel like it was money wasted? No, I feel like I missed my opportunity when everybody was trading their monies in that I didn't get my money out. But I don't feel like I wasted my money. It's an investment. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you hold them, sometimes you fold them. But that's what you do. Hodl your currency.
What does that mean? You guys cover each other in mayonnaise. What does that mean?
In mayonnaise. Wow, that'd be hot. Put that money up, my wealthy friends. Damn right about that, Metroid. Kuwait. Yeah. I would love for Babe to give you guys a little explanation about Kuwait in the thing if you guys want to. She's super well versed and super smart, but I don't have time. At B, yes, one of the most accurate prophets along with Kim. Really cool that they both prophesied about not all things. Vivian, yes, very cool about prophecy there. Message was retracted. Yeah, I'm believing because God is God. He can do anything, but we shall see. I agree. God is all-knowing and all-seeing and unknown and unknowable. Mr. Brando, do you think they are going to announce this on TV after the exchange out? No. I believe it's going to be very, very quiet because you know why? I forget how many persons in America hold an R, but do you think they're going to put a big flashing screen up that says millionaires wanted? No. You will become targets. You will become people that will be accessible to kidnappings, to extortion, to blackmail. I don't think you'll ever see this on TV. The revolution will not be televised, but it will be on YouTube. We will tell you. We will tell you. And if you're not a member of Mr. Brando fan page or Mr. Brando at YouTube,
on Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah, and my Twitter, then become my friend. What's my Twitter again called, babe? Mr. Brando YouTube.
At Mr. Brando YouTube.
Yeah. Then you will. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just saying I pump stuff up. I put stuff in there to let you know what's going on. More taxes means more money. Yeah, taxes aren't a bad thing, folks. Taxes are a good thing. Taxes pay for our police. They pay for our fire. They pay for a lot of things. Taxes aren't bad, and you guys will be eligible taxpayers. So I have no problem paying taxes. I just want my fair share. Need more taxpayers. Damn right, Bam, you're right about that. Thursday group might take a personal bodyguard too. Yeah, I'm not opposed to having protection. I'm not a person that's going to tell you to go out and do bad things, but protect yourselves and your family. He's a radioactive cockroach. Ha! You guys are crazy. Facts. Bang a daddy. Did you know that every training exercise in the military uses Baghdadi 10 years prior? Yeah, remember Baghdadi was a friend of the Bush people. He kind of like goes back with that whole nut job that they killed the last time, the tall guy. No more taxes. There'll always be taxes, my brothers, Frank. But this time we'll be able to afford them. Shoot, I am cashed out here in Mexico. The peso is 20 to 1. So if an RV happened to double my money, my property taxes are $25 a year. Shoot, I ain't blaming Sylvia. Mr. Brando! Thanks, Skills. Glad to see you made it, Skills. Right on, Viv.
Yeah, Jonathan, falling feels like flying until you hit the ground. That's his motto.
That's it. I used to love that.
I liked his voice, too.
He had a great voice.
Yeah, he reminded me of like
a TV guy. I mean, a radio guy.
Like Kenny, what's his name?
Can we get him on here, you think?
I don't know.
If you're out there, could you come on here with this one day?
What is his name?
Oh, could someone tell us his name one more time so we can shout him out? I'd love to get him on here. Radio something engagement. Remember you say, and no mods and no moderators to keep it down. I used to like that. That's what the inspiration for this was. No stupid people on here telling you you're not smart because you don't know.
He never went live. He just recorded and posted.
But we go live.
I mean, I understand that. No, I mean, I don't think anyone goes live, but he would just record and post. But it was good. I can't believe he's gone though. I think
me too. Yeah, he didn't last long. Most of these guys are fair weather because you know why, folks? Because when you hype it up so much and then you got no substance with it, then it doesn't happen, then you have nowhere to go. You know what I'm saying? Now he wasn't that way.
No, he read the articles and he kind of gave his opinion on things, but I don't think he's gone.
Real community engagement. Yeah.
I think he's still out there. He's just not posting right now. Sometimes people go on hiatus because even
maybe he's chill.
The other guy you liked was gone for like 2 months.
Yeah.
Came back. So
Paul says pre-war dinar was at $3.20. Thank you. So that means with inflationary measures, you should probably look at $3.33 to $3.50. Iraq needs to be accepted into the WTO. Why, Brian? They don't need to be in the WTO. They're already. They don't need to be. That'd be very helpful for their trade, but they don't have to be. But they are pursuing it. $3.20 would be sweet. I hope you have your cryptos off the exchange. Damn right I do, Crypto Gamer. Miss BB manages all that for me. It will go 7 to 1 by the end. They're addition $1. Thank you. We gotta keep living. That's right, Kenneth. You gotta keep living and live this in the glorious present. You're right. Love your investment, but live in the glorious present. LLC would not hurt, Frank. Thank you. Dwayne. Is that Kenneth? Oh, that's Kenneth. Okay. Dwayne Sewell. How each time I call the bank, they tell me that they don't have it. Where's Dwayne? Dwayne is a very smart guy, and Dwayne is the one that told me about Warka. And Walker needed to step up because that whole thing with the bank. Remember with these banks out there now, these shiesty bankers out there were trying to charge like 30% interest on people going to get loans from them. And this is the time for bank inclusion. I believe he was the one that told Mr. Sewell said, this is the time for Walker to step up. And he knew a lot about Walker. And Walker needed to go out there and educate the people how a loan works. And 30% interest is way too high. Yeah, it will be library quiet. You're right about that. Thank you. Me too, Jonathan. I will definitely have a sheriff's escort. MVP, I think the massive attack on America has been our economic standpoint as far as gas dropping, as far as job loss, as far as the housing market's going to go pretty soon. Somebody asked me a long time ago about all the conspiracy things that I believe in. These are some of them. I don't believe it's going to be a physical attack, but I believe it's going to be an economical attack, thus separating the haves from the have-nots. That's my personal opinion. The name is Mr. Brando. You're right about that. Admin. Real community engagement. That's it. Thank you. Not community engagement. Thank you. Thank you. Real community engagement. Thank you. I'm not smart to not be corrected. His name was Admin. Admin. Yeah, he was a good guy. He's a good guy. That's what makes us different. Thanks to the team. We're almost done. What up, B? Hey, Chris. What up, Bogey-san? Good to see you out there. I don't want, me personally, my own opinion, I don't want our currency pegged to gold. I want it pegged to natural resources other than humankind and other than your Social Security, aka sovereignty. Sovereignty is a joke in this country because your birth certificate's worth a birthright of, I believe, Bogey can tell you, he's an expert in it. But your birthright, I think $100 million or $100-something million, but you'll never get it because they've already cashed you out generations prior to what's happened today. So I'm sorry to go off on a tangent, but I just think that that's just crazy. It's still in there. Listen to him all the time. Eva, thank you. Yeah, he's a good guy. Thank you, Dwayne. I think Dong is going to be the thing that takes you guys from millionaires to possibly billionaires. That's just me saying it. Millionaires to billionaires.
Take me there. I only have one.
Q said, I'm sorry. We'll get you some dong. Baby, the baby needs dong. We're going to get her some dong.
He won't let me buy more dong.
Yeah, we got enough. Q said we'd see a whole new world, the new money system. Others saying income tax going. 70% flat tax on new items, not on food, meds, and houses. So much out there, but it sounds better than what we have. Vivian, I think the whole thing about us is that we need not a global reset, but we need a global kind of like redo. Like allow more people to have more so that we can stimulate our own economies that can recreate our own wealth and our own wealth systems. And there always will be elite. In a room full of rich people, they'll be the richest and the not so rich, but they'll all be considered richer than some people. We just want to help out and get ourselves in a position that we have a say in the way our government's portrayed, in the way that we enact things, and not just take what people give us. That's what I think is important for us. Hey, Michelle, you made it. Yes, you did. Late, but you made it. And shout out to Michelle. She says every time she never makes it, but she made it this time. Shout out to Michelle. I'm in on Dong. Frank, me too. Sylvie, I would love to be a millionaire. You're a millionaire in your mindset. Remember, think and grow rich. Your mindset is everything. If you think poorly, you'll be poor. If you think rich, you'll be rich. Just think health, wealth, and wisdom. That's it.
I'm rich at heart.
I'm rich at everything. I'm rich. I got the most bangingest, hottest wife in the world. I got a beautiful fan base. I've got a beautiful platform for me to talk to my closest friends about one of my passions. And I'm healthy. I'm not dead. I'm working. No, I'm not a billionaire or a millionaire, but you know what I am? I'm happy. I can say a lot of people can't say I'm happy, you know, and the money won't make you happy. It just makes, well, money will make you happy. I ain't gonna lie. Money will make you really happy, but money will make you hopefully a lot more solvent. Okay.
Money gives you options.
Read the Act of 1871. I surely will. This is not a reset, RVRI. I agree. You guys, you know what? We are over 8 minutes. I missed one Q drop. Yep. Oh, you go, Mr. Grando. We happy too. We love you guys. Vivian, yes, Mr. Brown. As a man thinks in his heart, so he is. Vivian, yes, I believe so too. I'm a spiritual millionaire. Me too, Kenneth. Praise God. You can't buy that. You can't listen. A classless being, you can't breed class into. You can't breed into an animal. You can't breed into a person. But you can learn class. You can learn to be kind. You can learn to be smart. You can learn to be righteous and righteousness in what you believe. That's all I want for you guys. In 2018, I want to tell y'all what I'm leaving behind. I'm leaving behind self-doubt. I'm leaving behind every ignorant thing I thought about that I had no control over, that had nothing to do with me, but I felt like it had a major pressure on me. I'm leaving behind bad health. I'm leaving behind solitude, and I'm embracing my new life, my awesome wife, my baby, and
your dog Daisy.
My dog Daisy, and I love Daisy. I love Daisy. Nobody loves Daisy, but I love Daisy.
Daisy's spoiled, please. I feed her, so I must love her to some degree.
And I love all of you. I love every single. You know what? I love you. And you know what? If no one told you today, you are beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I mean that. You're a beautiful person inside and out. I told that to a customer the other day. She was going through a terrible divorce, and I said, you know what? I'm sorry that he did that to you, but I want you to know you're a beautiful person. The one I invited over for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't just walk it. I talk it and I live it. I do this for real. This isn't me practicing. I do this because I love it. I love the passion. I love you guys. I know Miss Beebe loves you guys. I've held you guys way too long. You guys have 3 hours by my time to let the ball drop and to spend it either in prayer, meditation with family or friend.
And that's if you're in the Central Standard
Time. If you're in New York, you got 2 hours.
Exactly.
If you're on the West, how many you got?
You said 5 hours.
5 hours.
They have 5 hours.
I'm gonna let you guys go, you know. So we're gonna let you guys go. This is 2018, and we're gonna do this one time. So I'm letting you all know right now. I started this way. I'm gonna end it this way. And this is the last time I'm gonna yell it. So all you guys get ready. Turn your volumes down. I'm telling you right now. Turn your volume down because I'm gonna do it. Okay? I'm gonna yell. Ladies first. My lovely, beautiful, awesome wife and I. Your name, please.
April BB.
I am Mr. Brando. And I thank you guys.
This is the last time we get to hear that.
For this year. Thank you.
Have a good night, y'all.
Be safe.
See you in
love
2019.
Each other. See you guys 2019. First
Happy
report.
New Year. Be
Happy
safe.
New Year. Happy New Year. We love you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.